Hi, everyone. We are going live on Annie Leap's live stream. And today I have Heather Louise Vasey, right? Did I say
Yes.
that right now? Thank you. Who is another amazing author from our latest collaboration within the breath framework, our book, Begin with a Breath. And Heather, I have shared so many amazing conversations with you. So I know that I will enjoy this time together. And I'm so glad that there are people listening who will get to listen in as well. Hey, Gabe. So good to see everyone coming in. How are you, Heather?
I'm doing well, thanks, Jenny. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's a new year and it's so cool because the first thing that I will ask you about, it's something that you bring up in the book. Hey Charlie, hey everyone joining. You bring up the word authenticity in your chapter. And I'm so intrigued by this because it's one of my core values and it's actually a vision that I have for this new year. I don't work with goals, I work with visions. So to me, one of my visions for this year, my main vision is to be more authentic. And you've authored on this now. So I'm so interested to hear, what does that look like to you? What is that to you to be authentic?
One of the things for me that's really key is showing up just as I am today, not who I necessarily was yesterday, but who I am in the present and being
Hmm.
transparent. I think it's when we're inviting clients into a coaching space, it's really important that we show both authenticity and transparency because that's something that we're also requiring of them. And I think it binds the relationship. It's kind of like glue that you kind of build that trusting relationship together, and it's a very powerful tool.
It is very powerful. And it's also being vulnerable. And I like to think of our vulnerability as the bridge between us. You know, we're used to thinking that it's about saying the right things or being perfect. But really, it's when we come back to ourselves and are courageous to share ourselves with the world in all our vulnerability that people start relating to us. And we find that we actually share the same experiences and we're all works in progress.
That's so very true.
How has that served you as a human being and as a coach and as a leader? Like how has that served you to be authentic? Hi, Annie.
It serves me because then I'm really showing up with my whole self. I'm not just showing up, bringing only parts of me into a
Mm,
coaching session. When I speak with clients, I really want to be fully there and fully myself so that it makes them comfortable to do the same. It's like,
right.
I guess, an invitation to them to show up the same way.
I love that. And really when you do that, you're not just freeing you, you're freeing the people around you to give themselves permission.
Exactly.
It's very powerful. And it's very encouraging that we don't always have to just talk about it. Like we can just show up as ourselves. And in doing so, we give the people around us permission to do the same.
Yeah, beautifully said. I like how you said that.
Yeah. Very cool. How do you feel about being an author?
Oh, it's something very exciting and not something that I really had anticipated ever being or doing. But having a group of people to work together with that common goal has been really incredible. It's very exciting.
Yeah. It's
Such a
a
great
dream.
group.
Yeah, it's a dream team and it's
It,
always a teamwork and the people that we surround ourselves with. Um the breath framework, it's we talk a lot about core values. And you write in your chapter about aligning with your core values and how powerful that is. So I'm so intrigued to know, can you please name like three of your core values? And what does that look like for you when you align them in your life and your soul and your heart?
well, my three top values are really authenticity, kindness, and empathy. And those are really things that I've carried throughout my entire life. For a little while, I kind of held back who I was and didn't always show my authenticity because it didn't always serve me well in certain situations. But the more I become in alignment with those core values, it becomes then how I lead my life and how I show up in all of my relationships, whether it's professional or personal.
Hmm.
And when you're in alignment, then all of your actions, your behaviors all start to fall in like ducks in a row. This is the best way to put it.
Yeah. I feel peaceful when you talk about it. It feels like it's not so much about handling stuff. It's more about being you and allowing your life to flow from your core.
Yes, and I think there's a real sense of peace that comes when you do act in alignment with who you are and what you value most.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I can absolutely look back on situations where I felt like an inner dissonance. I'm a musician, so like I know what it sounds like when notes really don't go together. That's a really uncomfortable feeling, and that's the best word that I can come up with, like dissonance in Swedish. When I've been in situations where I did not live in alignment with my values, and I get to choose a life where I do, and that's just really powerful.
It is, it's very freeing. I think
Yes.
there's a great freedom
Yeah.
that comes with that.
Yeah. So another thing that you bring up, and that's really connected to this, is that we tend to be so focused on other people's opinions and ideas and how they view us, and we call it like people pleasing. And I think that's so common. Like I've been a major people pleaser, and I think that that's really relatable to the people listening. And I'm so curious to hear from you, like, why do we people please? Where is that coming from?
Well, I think sometimes it comes from a place of not understanding how important it is to love ourselves and to really own our worth. I think when we're seeking outside validation, it takes away from who we really are as people. And I think the more that we can develop self love, self care, and those kinds of routines, then we stop needing that external validation because then internally we know that we're really valued and worthwhile. I think,
Yeah.
and then also being able to serve from a full cup instead of
Mhm.
the more you're giving away and the more you're people pleasing, it depletes you. And you end up feeling resentment and frustration and anger towards the other people that you're think that you're serving, but really what you're doing is completely losing sight of who you are in order to
Yeah.
make someone else happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there for sure.
Me too.
And been so careful to respect everyone around me that I was truly not respecting myself.
Exactly.
And it was when I started to truly love myself that I did not care so much about being around people who didn't. It really
No,
started within me.
it does begin within, and it sort of then defines all of your relationships going forward and how you
Mhm.
end up navigating those in
Yeah.
a much healthier way and in a fuller self.
Yeah. Yeah. So you spoke about self-love and filling our cup and caring, like the self-care and caring for ourselves, making ourselves a priority. And there are likely people listening who were brought up, maybe people weren't really saying to them that to like self-love is selfish. But it's very possible that that was a reaction that they were getting from people around them when they prioritized themselves. So how come self-love isn't selfish?
For me, well, for a long time, I really thought that it was. But when I really started to examine what that really means, is that I know that if I'm continually in a place of giving and there's nothing coming back in, then you're always depleted and you're always kind of running on empty. And I started to think of it as being self full as opposed to being selfish. And then you can serve from that fullness. It's and then keep filling yourself to the point where you're almost overflowing, and then serving others from the overflow. So that was really the defining difference for me.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. And self-full makes me think of whole, like wholeness and being healed.
Yes.
And that's something that we talk about, but it's hard sometimes to like put that into words. What does it mean to be healed? What does that look like? And like as when it comes to leadership, for example, what does it look like when a leader is healed and whole?
Well, to me, I really believe that healing is a process. I don't know as though we ever really arrive anywhere, but it's a continual process. There's a favorite quote of mine. I believe it's Sonia Bush that says that you can be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. And that is one of my favorite quotes and one of the quotes that I live by. And I really believe it's true. And when in terms of healing, I really believe that whether it's grief, trauma, loss, abuse, all of the things, they shape who you are. All of those experiences, but they do not define who you are. It's up to us to define clearly who we are. All of
Mm.
those experiences, um, when we begin the process of healing, they really help us determine then how to go forward with it. It becomes a choice whether you're going to let those things make you bitter or whether you're going to let them make you better.
Yes. Let me just plug in to resource and energy. Yes. So yeah, I like to use the frame sometimes or the word sometimes that I'm speaking from my healed self. Like I want to speak from my healed self. Because I also believe that it's just a continuous journey, and there's always parts of us that we get to, be works in progress with, right? And I love, again, back to the wholeness thing. What I'm finding is that people who are speaking from their healed self, to them, serving the people around them is like a gift they give to themselves.
Yes, and it
It's
goes
coming from a
along
place of
exactly that.
abundance.
Yeah, it does. It comes from that overflow again. And
Yeah,
so then that's where you're serving from.
yeah. It's beautiful, and I know from my own, like in my journey, because I've healed from so much trauma. I didn't know how much there was for me to enjoy. Like on the other side of my fears of like going through this process of healing, that sometimes means that you get to go back to memories, and you get to make peace with yourself and decisions that I made as a mother and as a wife and so forth. um, I didn't realize how much peace there was waiting for me on the other side, and how that would affect me also in business. That's been a really cool experience.
That sounds like a very cool experience, and it
Mm.
is all part of your journey.
Hmm. It is. We get to grow through all the lessons. So, Heather, tell me a bit more about yourself and where people can find you.
Oh, sure. The best place to reach me is on LinkedIn. I am making a bit of a transition in terms of the coaching work that I do. I'm going to be focused quite a bit more on the empathy component of coaching. I really think that there's a huge value in bringing that into everything that I do. So that's also going to be something that I will be talking about and offering with my coaching. But
Beautiful.
anybody that wants to talk to me, please don't hesitate to send me a message on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to talk to you.
Wonderful. And you are our queen of soul
Oh,
within the breath framework. And I love you dearly. So, will you please share what makes the breath framework stand out to you compared to other programs that are out there?
One of the greatest things for me is that whole holistic piece of it, because it really, we're not just talking about one part. We're not just talking about the mind or the body or the soul. It's the whole, your whole being. So for me, that's where the real key difference is. It's about being able to reach into the furthest corners of your soul, holding a mirror up to your soul, and really finding out what's there. That's what I really love about it. And the team, of course. The team is wonderful. I couldn't imagine doing this with anyone else. So it's just, I love that.
Beautiful. I'm so glad we had this time.
Me
So
too.
thank you. Yeah. Is there
You,
anything
Jenny.
you want to add?
No, I'm just, thank you to everybody that's helped me get to this point, and to all of the support that I feel so much from this team. It's really, it does something to my heart.
Yeah, well, you inspire and empower us daily. So right back at you, Heather.
Thank
Yes. So thank you, everyone listening, and I will be back next week with another inspiring author. And thank you, Heather. Look
Oh,
forward to
thank
chatting with you again soon.
you too. I hope
Okay.
you enjoy the rest of your day and have a great week
Yes,
ahead.
I will. You too.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.